Fathergamer podcast.
Blah, blah, blah. My name is Ransom.
Hello, Ransom. How are you today,
How
Ransom?
are you?
Ransom.
My name is Ransom.
Okay. Have we had this discussion before about your name?
Yes.
Like where it came from. Like,
Oh,
what
yeah.
was the?
It was my great-grandfather's.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did have this discussion, but well,
Of some pirates.
welcome to what's in your name. No. Welcome to episode 68, the redo of 68 of the Fathergamer podcast. Hopefully, we recorded an episode, and let's just say that it didn't go well. I mean, there was a lot of nudity involved,
A lot of meat slapping.
a lot of meat slapping. It was a regular sausage factory in there. No, really, we were in a sausage factory. It was the audio
pretty
from it.
gross.
It was terrible. A lot of squealing.
Sausage machineries going on. It was just
We
loud.
think that we saw a Terminator or two getting squished.
Yeah, it was amazing. Wow, brought that reference out. So
A car exploded outside.
Yeah, it was-
fire
oh,
everywhere.
man,
That
too
was
much stuff
crazy.
going
That
on.
was awesome, by the way, though.
So, before we get started, let's go ahead and introduce everybody here. To my virtual left, I have.
Mike?
Yeah, he had to think about it. He was actually looking at his hands.
Which one?
Yeah, he
Which one is the
he
left
actually
one?
has an L written on the top of one of his hands. So we've got Mike and.
Ransom.
Yeah, which we talked about earlier. He's apparently a descendant from pirates.
Pirates.
Yeah.
Definitely pirates.
So before we get started on the what's in our system part of our show, just kind of wanted to, at the beginning, I kind of like to talk a little bit about stuff that's going on in our lives and that kind of stuff. And it's fun to do. But I started working on a project with my youngest daughter. It's really weird how social media and my daughter in school, she actually got yelled at by her teacher for not having a cell phone.
What?
Yeah, because apparently
Wow.
they structure some of their classwork around them having phones,
Interesting.
and that just
That's hilarious because back in my day,
back in my
Right.
day,
they would put you in detention for
they
having
would
your cell
take your
out.
phone,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So
Back in
now-
my day, we didn't even have cell phones.
well, that's because they didn't. Everything was run by gerbils and
Right?
so-
Pretty much.
Well, I will say this: the biggest thing when I was growing up was if you had a pager.
Right?
Like
Oh,
it was
you were-
it was at the end of that.
You were the
phase.
shiznit when
No,
you
wait,
had a pager.
one, never say that again. Two, it was usually, at first, if you had like a pager, you were a drug dealer. That's,
It's like he's got
nice.
some business going
and
on.
I remember I lived in a town that was, there was a lot of gang activity going on, and I took my dad's, because I wanted to be cool, I took my dad's pager to school one day and had it on my bike. So, yeah, that didn't go well. So,
He's like, hey man, I want my fix, man.
yeah, no.
Hook me up.
So a lot of people got pixie sticks that day. So back on my daughter's stuff. So they had a thing in class where they had to make a Twitter page based on a famous celebrity that was dead, or like a politician or something like that. So she got William Taft.
William Taft.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That was, if you don't know who Taft was,
The
he
big
was
fat man.
He
that
was one of our
president.
presidents. Can't remember which one number now, but I think he's 27th. I might be right, or something like that. But he was a big man. He was about 350, from what I understand.
Big boy.
He's a big boy. He's the not only is he the fattest president we've ever had, he's also the last one to have facial hair, the first one to have a car, and the last one to have a cow at the White House.
Nice.
And not like don't have a cowman cow, but like a physical cow. So, but a lot of stuff when you bring him up on the internet, we were trying to research, was that he was stuck in a bath. He got stuck in a bath in the White House, and they
I
had to make a
remember.
bigger bath.
That's like the only thing I know about Taft.
Yeah, and then-
from school.
That's
was
like
that he got
90%
stuck in-
of the stuff. So we ended up we made a page on him, and I tried to get my daughter to name him, do his Twitter handle as "I'd Taft that."
That's pretty great.
Did that go well with the teacher?
We didn't do that. It was
Okay,
it was
good.
like what was it? It was like
Taft that.
it was Big Love, Big Will, because apparently a lot of times he was
Called Will.
Will because William Bill.
Yeah.
And then Big Lub, which was a big name of his, but he was also apparently fell asleep all the time. I mean, the dude sounds like kind of an awesome president in a bad way. Like,
He's like,
way better than actually anything running right now.
I mean, that's not hard.
No, that's not
Yeah,
hard.
it's definitely not hard at all.
I'm pretty sure my shoe could run at this point. But
Well, if it's attached to your foot, it could.
but I was just surprised. And we
right up
found-
somebody's ass.
Wow. Go back to St. Fish's net. But anyway, so the thing though that got me excited about this project, we started going through it, and you have to talk kind of like modern talk, and
Yeah.
so stuff like, what was it like? I did not get stuck in no bathtub. Hashtag
Yeah.
big boy problems. Hashtag fat
Shaming,
shit,
yeah.
that kind of stuff. So that was fun, but then I started finding other people that have done it.
Oh
Like
my gosh.
different, like Lincoln and all this kind of stuff. Be like, I'm going to the movie theater, kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There's like a whole bunch of them online. I'm telling you, it is like one evening. Exactly, phone. One evening, just go out there and just start reading some of these. Like, just start exploring.
All these like fake.
But by the way, it is so not. We were talking about it a minute ago, Ransom.
This is against like Twitter policy.
Yeah,
and
it's-
to make
But
fake
at the
accounts.
same time, there's some great reading. Like I spent like 2.5 hours reading tweets the other night just on fake accounts because it was just.
I want to see like a Twitter war between two like fake.
Oh, we're starting one. We're starting right
that's
now.
so funny.
It's between Roosevelt and Teddy Roosevelt and.
You said a
Taft.
Twitter war?
That's
Yeah,
so funny.
that's funny.
That's because we found one and he started coming back on us. So
That's great.
yeah, I said one of
I
the.
think I read that the Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy
comment.
Roosevelt, and like one of them was like, I went to the Cincinnati Woolworths and couldn't find any Billy Possums. It's like, which by the way was his thing. He had some teddy bears. He had Billy Possums, which I've seen pictures of them.
They're not cute.
They're not cute. Possums are kind of cute, but in that scary sort of I'm gonna eat your
Kinda
face.
like,
way.
I have rabies.
I have the rabies, yeah.
So I guess we should move on. Anything going on with your guys' life? Anything?
Just playing Destiny nonstop.
Well, we'll get into that in a minute.
Making music. That's about all.
You've been doing a lot of music lately.
Yeah, I have 4 songs, I think. Yeah,
actually-
4 songs.
Yeah, people don't realize how much unless you play with music or do anything with music online, it's really
It's time consuming.
time consuming.
But I really like it. It's and like sometimes I'll start like sometime at like 2 in the afternoon, and then I'll like stop and I haven't eaten, and it's like 10. And
Yeah.
It's just like it just flies by. I enjoy it a lot.
It's so much fun.
It is.
Fun note or interesting note concerning music. The intro and the break music that you hear on the podcast is actually Eric's own design.
Yeah, it is. I don't really say that much, but it is.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I like it.
I love it.
It's a good jam.
I would like to dabble more in it.
Ram Jam?
Oh,
Oh,
bloody
man.
hell. Okay, so
That was a pull on my old Twitter
Yes,
handle.
old Twitter.
let's go ahead and get into what's in your system.
What's in your system?
And with that,
So
I'm gonna go with Ram Jam again. Just kidding.
So I know I've been playing a lot of Gears of War 4, a ton. Like I'm
Really?
level 70 right now.
What's
Is there a level
what's the
cap?
I think 99.
oh damn, you're almost there.
Really? That's a
Yeah.
weird number to cap it at.
Well, I don't really understand what the level other than when you're playing Horde mode.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Does
Listeners
it not
out there.
give you like any like bonuses
well,
or
when
special abilities?
you're
or-
playing Horde, as you level up, you have classes.
Mhm.
So there's like engineering, soldier, all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And as those level up, you unlock abilities to use these cards to help while you're playing the game.
Yeah.
So like.
See, I didn't understand that.
Or they
So
like
it's good that you're explaining
modifiers,
this.
like you do
Modifiers.
more damage,
or like I'm an engineer, so I build like fences. They're called other things, but it's describing basically what it is, like fences,
Right.
like barbed wire fences and that kind of stuff. And the cards will give me stuff like it's cheaper for me to use the energy that we accrue each time we defeat an enemy. We get a certain amount of energy that goes into the fabricator, which is this box.
So that's how that works.
And
okay.
so as you're playing the game, it's basically tower defense type of mechanic.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And so really, if you run with a group that kind of knows what they're doing and everybody has some pretty good cards in their setup, you can do some great damage and fun and all that stuff. There's 50 waves that you can go through, and you basically beat Horde essentially each time.
That's crazy.
But really, I've only done it once with a group that wasn't friends. It's really hard to get randoms to get to 50. So it's
Oh my god.
and every 10th wave is a boss. And so that's generally when people start dropping off. So like 10, you might lose one person. At 20, you might lose
Like they just
another
disconnect
person.
because they suck, or
Yeah.
Or no, they're just done because it takes
Yeah.
long. It does take a long time too.
Yeah.
It's
So
like
fun.
if I get to 50, it's generally a couple hours.
That reminds me
that
of
makes sense.
that reminds me of Halo Firefight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
If you got paired with bad people, it's just like it's like
yeah.
when you're paired with randoms, it's again. One time I've got it, but now that my engineering is so high,
yeah.
I have I can build turrets at a really cheap price. I can build this and cheap. So my camp, I kind of want to go. I need to take some video or some pictures and show like other people's camps I've seen. And my camp looks like it's outfitted for World War like.
Is it like a
Like
Fallout
you could
shelter?
go-
Yeah.
Like the Fallout camps,
Like
like turrets everywhere.
Well, I have like man-made turrets. Which, by the way, if you're playing Horde at all, build man-made turrets. Use those turrets. This is the easiest way to get through a lot of these waves.
You're like Tobiorn.
Pretty much.
Right.
Speaking of which, we'll get into
Except you're controlling it. Yeah.
but there's also automated turrets, and some of the cards you get can actually increase speed and how many rounds you have and all that kind of stuff. And then and a Horde is like definitely where I spend most of my time. Like it is definitely the greatest, probably the best version of it. This is the 3.0. This is the third version of Horde, and it's really good. But the campaign, I played some of it with Kyle and online, and I played with Mike, which was your very first time.
Very first time,
He came
yeah.
over to the house. Very first time he's ever played Gears.
Gears of War.
With my custom controller. that
Yeah,
I
with his
bought
custom
myself.
controller he got from Xbox, which was really nice, which we talked about in the very first version of this show. But
Yeah.
but he has a
But it
very
did
nice
make it.
controller, and you did get it. It has your Silverhawks
Just
on
got my
it.
Silverhawks hashed in
And-
my
and
my
so-
hashtag, my Silverhawks gamer tag. Yeah.
He came and we were playing, and it took him a while to get used
Oh,
to the
yeah.
controllers. No, he hated it.
I hated it at first. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not. And it's. I will honestly
It wasn't a
say,
PlayStation, so it was like Greek. It was Greek to me, basically.
It was all in English, but I can admit Gears can take a while to get used to. Especially, I mean, I've been playing them since the beginning, so it's
Yeah.
kind of second nature to me.
Yeah.
But I can see where, especially the roadie run, you're like, this is stupid. when they do the roadie run when they're running. You had trouble, but by the time we got through about 3 or 4 levels, you did really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, granted, we were probably on easy mode, if not.
No, we were on normal.
Well, that's what I mean by easy.
No, I told you
Normal
that I was
mode,
doing
but
easy, and I bumped it up to normal because I didn't want you to freak out.
I didn't even know whether or
Yeah.
not. Yeah. But
So-
it was very forgiving, actually. I mean, the characters, the ones you fought were very slow,
That's
which is
the
good.
thing that I really like about, not that part, but the thing
Yeah.
I really like about the campaign is I described it as if Naughty Dog made a Gears game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it flat out, the story is great. JD, the character, Phoenix's son, is amazing. Like, it's a great character.
He's hilarious. Yeah.
And the group, the dynamic of the new group, makes me kind of go, I don't really care that it's not the old group, even though a lot of them pop up through the game.
You said it was JD, right?
Yeah, JD.
Think of, if you haven't played Gears and you play Destiny at all, think of JD as Cade from Destiny.
Kinda. He's that sarcastic,
Very sarcastic.
very Nathan Drakey sort of. I don't know if Nathan Drakey is an actual term, but it is now. So
coined it.
I honestly, I was playing. I went back and replayed some of the first one, and I can't decide whether or not I like this one better than the original. Like,
Really?
yeah, that's how good this one.
I mean, you probably like this one better than the original.
I think I do.
Because the original, I played it, I think, for a little bit, because I kind of got into the Gears of War games late.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time I played it, it was still a good game, but like it had aged. And I didn't have the nostalgia glasses to cover that.
Yeah, I having replayed the remastered, I mean, they did some touch up, and I really appreciate the game. But I think I think this is my favorite Gears now. So, if you're a Gears fan, I would definitely check it out. I know some people have issues with some of the microtransaction stuff, and I can see that being a problem. And apparently, they're going to be addressing a lot of that and making it a little bit easier. I think they've made enough money and sold enough games now. They're probably like, well, we'll kind of
Give you a little bit of freebies.
Yeah, it's really good. We did do one of the funny things is though they had partnership with Totino's Pizza.
What?
To get zombie.
I forgot about that.
For multiplayer for your skins.
Oh,
to
I
get
think I remember.
a zombie JD and a zombie Lancer and a zombie, because that's one of the newer things you can get, and a zombie Nasher. And so we ate Totino's for about a week. And
That's funny because, like, okay, Totino's pizza rolls, like,
We ate the
at least
pizzas.
at you
Like
got
the
the
full-size
pizzas.
yeah, they have a
Okay,
new
cool.
package for them and everything.
Oh, okay. So I guess that makes a little sense because I remember those being
those-
marketed to like kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then
they're
it's
kind of
funny
nasty.
that like Gears of War would choose that
Yeah.
as their
no.
medium.
The actual pizza rolls are kind
Living
of
in a college town, you go down into like the local grocery store and you'll see tons of Totino pizzas anyway inside. And I have friends that come up to me and go, "Hey, here," and they were handing me, because they're in packages now, not boxes.
Yeah.
They'll hand me like a wad of the bags from the stuff. It's like, you can use this. I was like, okay, and it gives you extra like XP stuff. and all
Yeah.
that. But it's funny. I have like a ton of codes.
Just like a pile of Totino's.
Yeah, and then the other thing
bags.
is they partner with Rockstar, and of course all of the drinks are sugar.
Well, you already drink Rockstar, so
But I drink Rockstar, but the sugar free.
yeah.
But they none of the Gear
Oh, the
stuff.
ones with gears.
All sugar.
Oh, that seems like a giant misstep on
Yeah,
their
I
part.
It is. They
I
should have.
agree.
Yeah.
But they, I'm surprised nobody's gone with like protein drinks and stuff like that yet.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
That market, especially like,
You don't
why
really think
hasn't
of.
Madden?
Or hell, just put it
Yeah.
on water bottles.
Yeah, exactly. But it's
That's
funny.
true. That would work
I
very
went
well.
I went to one of the local grocery stores the other day though, looking, because they've been doing sales on the Rockstars, and
Yeah.
I'm like Santa Claus with Rockstars. Like, here you go, here's a Rockstar, give me the tab, because the tab is where the code is. Well, I went to a local grocery store the other day, and I found 6 Rockstars with none of the tabs on them.
Oh, dang.
So I was like, oh,
Oh,
that,
that
I
sucks.
was like, that was a misstep. Maybe placed by Rockstar on that.
wow.
yeah, why would they put them on the tabs?
Well, Totino's puts it on the outside of the box,
Yeah.
the packaging, so people were actually
taking pictures.
taking pictures, and
That seems like a really stupid. Why did they do
so
that?
I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, enough about Totino's and Rockstar. But I would definitely check out Gears of War if you have an Xbox and you've been on the fence about Gears of War 4. I would, which I don't, from my understanding, a lot of people aren't. Like, it's selling very well, especially.
Yeah, this is the first Gears of War where I'm just like, this actually looks like a lot of fun.
It's really fun. So, well, I keep meaning to stream some stuff, and I probably will with some Horde if I can get Colby and Kyle to stream with me. And I know Matt from our old school listeners might remember Matt. he might be getting it for PC, which is really cool that we can play with PC.
I think.
people.
Oh, so
I thought
they
he
have
said that
cross-platform?
Yeah,
I thought he
cool.
said he did get it.
yeah, he get it, but we might stream with him.
Oh, okay, cool.
So anyway, I know Ransom is playing. They've been playing some Civ.
Civ 6.
Yeah, so
Dope game. So I got it Saturday, and I've
Okay.
already played, or I started playing it Saturday because you need to download the patches and all that.
Right.
And I've
For
already
people that
clocked,
don't know what Civ is, it's civilization.
yeah, Civilization. Sid Meier's Civilization 6.
did I actually still say Civ on? Is Sid Meier on it?
I think Sid Meier's still on it. I don't know.
Okay.
I just put the disc in and was like, I want to play Civilization.
I don't care.
I don't care. But I've already played like 33 hours of the game.
Nice.
Wow.
How far did you get as far as the?
So that's like well, today we're recording on a Wednesday, so that's a lot. Like that's all you've been doing.
Yeah, that's all. That's pretty much all I've been doing is playing like Civ with my brother. See, I've already restarted because the game kind of has like a steep learning.
It was like a
curve.
day and a half, right? Of hours played.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
But the game kind of has a steep learning curve. But
Really?
that's only because.
Yeah, Civ kind of does in general, but I've heard
Kind
this
of.
one.
But this one, I mean, I didn't because I've played other Civs, and it's been a while since I've played Civ 5. But I didn't, you have the option for the tutorial, and I bet the tutorial or explains everything beautifully. I just didn't do that because I hate tutorials. I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go in. And,
So that might be the learning.
that
curve.
no, that's the learning curve.
Okay.
I'm not blaming this on the game at all. The game's amazing. I love the game, but there wasn't like there's things that I've like started like 4 different like games,
Yeah.
and I don't feel that until the 4th game I finally have like grasped I think everything that I should be doing.
That's the thing with Civ for me that's always happened though is like I really like them, but at a certain point I get to where I feel like I'm a god every time I play it. Like
Yeah.
you kind of understand how the game works, and then you just I'm done. Like I just kind of go I'm done. But that's not a bad
but,
thing. I mean,
and it's just I'm just playing it normal, and it's not. I feel that it could be just like a little harder because
probably after you play a little bit longer.
I'll probably up the difficulty.
Yeah.
But me and my brother have this one game going where I'm Norway, and they have so many factions in this one, and even the civilizations that they have multiple leaders. A lot.
Yeah, I
of them
remember
do.
hearing about that.
Yeah, and that's really cool. And they also have like one faction might have a male leader and then also a female. So
So
that's cool.
what would you say the biggest difference between this and previous civilizations are?
Let me go because I was writing this down. I was trying to.
Ooh, he's actually breaking
Oh,
out.
he's
Yeah,
got a little
shit.
notepad.
Little notepad.
So
Preparing for the
the
podcast.
character animation, like I know that's a really weird thing to talk about for Civ,
No,
but
that-
the character animation is like incredible. If you have it on, you have to go into the options and turn it on.
Otherwise, what? They're like stick figures, basically.
Yeah,
like
otherwise they're
frozen?
just like frozen.
Wow.
So you have to turn it on, and I'm sure it doesn't take up that much power from your PC, but
I
It's-
doubt it would.
yeah. But
Greg,
the graphics are amazing, and they do this cool thing that like in Civ you're basically your fog of war, where if your units are near you can see, but past that, what they do is they make it look like a map. So
Oh, that's good.
So like everything's in color that you can see, but past the fog of war, it's like all like browned like map paper, like.
That's kind of cool.
And it even
like
like
that
it even like makes the mountains look drawn on and shit.
I've
Nice.
officially been playing too much Gears of War because you were saying the fog of war and it just automatically.
You're just like-
my ears perked up.
You're getting like Gears of War
Yeah.
PTSD.
Like I can drink some Rockstar and eat some Totino's now. But so overall though,
Oh yeah, I'm
Definitely.
super loving the game. I'm trying to think of like because like I said, it's been a while since I played Civ 5, so I think so amenities. It used to be that you just needed luxury resources for your civilization in like
Right.
Civ 5, but they changed it where you can get basically the equivalent of luxury resources from maybe religion or like
Interesting.
having a good marketplace, or so they kind of made that varied. it makes the game feel less like you're just like, because if you get put in a shitty place where you have like no luxury resources, your people
Right.
are going to be unhappy.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can get like that same type of thing from maybe making a certain building that gives this amenity to your people.
That actually makes more sense anyway. So.
Yeah, so it's like, and that's one thing I've always appreciated about Civ. That always feels that they keep the features like Civ 5. Every feature that was in Civ 5 is in Civ 6, but Civ 5 Plus, you know, it's even
Right.
more features than, or they go in
They're
more
adding
in
on
depth.
to the coolness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it never really feels like there's like a feature that was in Civ 5 that is no longer there that I
Right.
really liked. It just feels like an upgrade, and it's a lot of fun.
A lot of games actually suffer from getting rid of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like, especially nowadays, if you see it in a lot of sequels, like for some reason they would change something.
Yeah.
And you're like, why did you take that out? Like in Mafia 3,
Yeah.
one thing I always appreciated about that game is in the second one, you could, if I remember correctly, you had a blinker in your car and you had to go the speed limit and you had to
Right.
stop at stop signs or police would like
Nice.
fuck with you.
Yeah.
And in Mafia 3, they still have it, but it doesn't really feel
It's
like
not
it-
as.
It's
yeah.
nowhere. It feels like a super watered down, like not even like just a little watered down, but like super watered down.
And part of that, I actually, when you're in the middle of, and this is one of the things that we lost in the last episode, the last recording of this, we talked about Mafia 3.
yeah.
And I guess we'll talk about it just briefly for a second. Overall, we like the game. The story
Oh,
was
yeah.
amazing. But it's an average, like, I would
It's
say,
like it's your cover-based third-person shooter, like middle. It's like middle top tier.
it's
game.
just an average sandbox game.
But
is
it has
basically.
an awesome
amazing
narrative,
story. Yeah,
and
so-
that's what like pulls you through the whole thing.
And so that overall, but the thing you were talking about with the blinker stuff, so I could see, like, I know when I started playing the game, I was doing all
The right stuff.
all the right stuff, and then I realized I don't really have to now in this one. But at the same time, there's a couple times during missions where that seemed to be thrown out the window, where the cops were like way oversensitive, more so than they were when I was just driving around.
Yeah.
And that was annoying. That was
Yeah.
incredibly annoying.
Another thing they took out was vehicle customization.
Yeah, there was,
And I was so angry about that. Like, and
That
how
seems like it would be something that they should always have.
yeah, I
well,
don't know why
especially
they
when
took
there's
it
a
out.
shop. There's actually an auto shop that
Yeah.
you do a lot of stuff out of.
Yeah.
And they took customization, which I have a feeling that might have been one of those things that were probably gonna be in the game, but
It's
You
going
know,
to be a
just, like,
DLC
cut.
later, probably.
either got cut or it's a DLC.
I mean, I hope
can't-
it is, because that was like, that's a really weird feature. It wasn't even like it was like a super in-depth, like, card
If they
but
do
I
make it a
think-
DLC, they better make it free, especially since it was on the last one.
They're not gonna. Oh,
Yeah.
I got the what's it called? The special edition.
Yeah.
And the season pass.
So yeah,
I'm
you're,
good.
you're
Cool.
so you're invested in.
I'm invested.
Speaking
in
of
Mafia.
season passes, I got Fallout 4 finally,
Oh, did you?
and got the season pass for that. So
Where'd you
I
get
get
it
all the DLCs.
What
It's
did
PlayStation 4.
Oh yeah, no, they had a sale on it.
Yeah,
Half.
off, man. That was awesome.
So have you been playing anything?
Other than Destiny, no, not lately.
Yeah, you've been playing that crap.
Bunch
out
of-
it.
Yeah.
Well, I know
bunch of
the Halloween stuff. Is it up yet?
It is up, yes, as
So-
of yesterday.
So is it pretty cool?
Yeah.
Uh,
I know that some people had some costumes already before.
well, it
the
happened
latest
last year.
update.
It happened last year.
Okay.
So if you have,
But yeah, as of
half of
yesterday,
my
they
vault is
updated the
freaking-
server.
half
so.
of my vault is masks from last year. So it's
Yeah, walking around both the tower and Iron Banner or Iron Temple, it was really cool. And you
I
could
didn't
hear
take
like
a look at it.
screams in the background and little things like one of the little mechs that has the sweep, the sweeper. She's like, can I submit a request to have somebody find my broom? And she's still making the broom sweeps because that's all she's programmed for.
oh
But she's like, and she's looking at dust on the ground. She's like, I need my broom back. I need it back.
that's her horror story.
it's like a robot's
Just
nightmare
listening to like
me.
little things like that, it's
So
hilarious.
the last thing that on our list, I've been playing. I played the Pokemon Sun and Moon demo. Have you played that yet?
I have not. Actually, I have gone through the whole thing. I don't know how to, if there's a way to export the
There
character.
will be at some point. They
Okay,
said.
I did get all the way
'cause
through
you
the demo,
get one
yes.
Pokemon that you get to keep. So.
The one that you start off with,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's
so they have a demo?
yeah, they have
Yes.
a demo out right
They
now.
have a
Well-
demo, and you get to
Oh.
keep the Pokemon that you start off
But
with.
the
on
cooler
that
the
demo.
cooler thing is seeing some of the Alola region Pokemon, like seeing what they look like actually, and how the fighting style is, and
Okay, I'll have to go download that.
yeah. So
How big of a download is it?
Not very big at
Not
all.
very big.
Yeah.
Okay, dope.
I-
Definitely check
It's
that out.
only one level, so maybe you fight one character at the very end of the thing, and you're done.
Speaking of Nintendo, we're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna come back, and we're gonna talk pretty in depth about Nintendo. They just had a big announcement, and we're gonna talk about what they talked about. So we'll be right back.
Cool.
What?
And we're back. And
Boy, that was quick.
Yeah, it was. Well, relatively. So Nintendo came out and they finally showed stuff on the NX, which has a name. It's the Switch,
Nice.
which is
makes perfect
clearly
sense.
the Will Smith song from was it '96 or something like
But
that?
they didn't
2000s
use
See,
it.
I'm not familiar with the song, but people were talking about that. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
What
yeah.
is this song?
It's Will Smith. Look it up. It's not right now, but it's a song.
Because I have all of his CDs of his latest stuff, and I don't remember Switch being anywhere in there.
It's fairly not super long ago. I don't remember. It's like maybe 2006. I don't
Yeah.
remember exactly. But there's also the movie with Jennifer Aniston as well. But still, a lot of missed opportunities by Nintendo with this. So there's also something that I used to get beaten with as a child.
Right?
the Nintendo Switch?
Yeah. It was, well, they made cards and they made child beating devices. Little known fact.
They were a very varied company.
Yeah, I mean, before they made consoles, it went all over the place. So they came out. They said, "Okay, this is the Nintendo Switch," which I think that's just their goal of Nintendo is when they announce a name, people go, because it kind of like.
I don't know. Nintendo Switch is definitely their best
But
out of all of their...
as
The
of
names
late,
Yeah.
lately, yes.
GameCube was
I
pretty
like
good.
it, actually.
GameCube was good. No,
Yeah.
GameCube was good. But, the Wii and the Wii U...
Yeah, those were pretty terrible.
The
but
Wii U is like a fucking
It's-
ambulance sound.
It's funny. It's
Yeah,
funny,
exactly.
or a penis, because I don't know how many Wii jokes were made at the penis jokes. were
Oh
made
my
at the-
gosh. Yeah.
So, but I don't understand. It's always their code names always sound better than the actual console. Like it's just it was like
Just call it the
Katana.
NX.
One of them was the Katana. The other one was like, well, okay, Project Dolphin didn't sound that great, but
Dolphin.
But I think that was the GameCube, if I remember right. So,
That's funny.
so I might be wrong on some of that. So they showed the video, and it was pretty much almost 99% of what we predicted.
Mhm.
Like the fact that you could use it on the go.
Yeah.
It's basically a tablet that you plug in to your TV
Yep.
through some kind of device.
It's a stand of some kind, yeah.
Yeah, and so well, you know, you just plug it in the dock, you take it out, you can add controllers to it. It uses a Pro controller, which pretty sure that thing is going to come separately and be like $60.
Probably.
If
I mean,
Pro controller, what do you do with
definitely.
that?
Okay, so I'll break it down for you and the audience. So they have the basic unit, and it comes with, from what I'm being told, they're called Joy-Con. It's the controllers are Joy-Con.
Joy-Cons.
Yeah, the actual.
They're like two of the controllers, but they go on each side.
But there's also
Yeah.
like this thing. It almost looks like a Pro controller, which is almost like a regular controller you get for like your Xbox or PlayStation or something like that.
It's something
Now I
that
can't
they slide
remember.
into.
Are they using the circle pads for the analog sticks on the
Yes.
the
Yes.
Joy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have those, and there's when they show the actual unit with the docking stand and the monitor, the tablet, and they have a controller next to it that looks like
That's
a
right, I
dog.
remember
That
that.
everyone
Yeah.
says it looks like a dog.
Yeah.
It looks like the
That's the
robot
Joy-Con,
dog
from
that
what I
people always
understand.
loved.
That's what the Joy-Con from what I
I
understand.
think
Okay.
that's really cool because
makes
like
sense.
every side can act as its own controller.
Correct.
Correct.
And that's,
Yeah,
that is like
when
that
used-
blew my mind.
Yeah. When used by one person in a single player mode, it becomes
A full controller.
a full controller setup where they can use the joystick on one side and the buttons on the other side. And then if they pair up with a person in a two-player mode,
and this is
it becomes each other.
We'll concentrate right now strictly on what comes out of the box from what we understand is the Joy-Con and the docking station and the tablet.
Yeah.
I don't have another name for that thing, so I'm just going to call it a tablet because
It's
essentially
a tablet.
it's an NVIDIA
Shield.
It's essentially an NVIDIA Shield.
and it's using
It's Tegra T1
yeah. So it's
processor.
So I mean, it's not going to be. Of course, it's not going to be PS4 or Xbox One, especially now since we have the
new one,
PS4 Pro and the Xbox Scorpio thing that's coming out. So,
But
So
I
did
think
Nintendo
they said,
actually pair up with
NVIDIA,
yes,
Oh, they
NVIDIA helped
actually
make
did.
the thing.
Okay.
they've
cool.
actually.
Now, if I remember correctly, though, they are going to support 4K.
I don't know. We don't know yet.
I thought they said that was.
I would find it hard to believe that they don't. If,
That's
4K
not.
isn't-
especially if you're going to use it as a tablet, you want high res.
I have not seen any specs,
Yeah.
like specific specs yet.
I have.
I mean, I don't think any have been.
No, those are projected
Those are
specs.
specs.
well, no, I mean,
speculations.
I have the NVIDIA K2 tablet.
And
And
does that have 4K?
thing is freaking awesome. It's fast. It's 4K compatible.
Yeah, then this is
So-
definitely going to be 4K. I can't imagine that
Well,
it wouldn't be.
This is also Nintendo.
It's
Yeah,
it's
okay,
it's-
you got
my
your
tablet
point,
is
but-
beautiful.
I
compared to
That would be
everything
a
else.
giant misstep by
I
Nintendo
love,
Yeah.
if it's
I
not.
love Nintendo. I actually really, really love my Wii U.
Yeah.
Every night. See, you can't help it. It's just a stupid
Just,
name.
it
You know,
just
if-
lends itself to a penis joke.
If it is 4K compatible and it supports high res video and all that, to me that would be the first time that Nintendo finally came out with current gen technology.
And that's why I don't think it's gonna happen because they've never done that.
Done that, yeah.
So
Very true.
and they're gonna they have the other problem is they know what their competitors are
Mhm.
doing, but there's no way they're gonna compete with it. There's no way they can compete because third parties are so salty against Nintendo.
Yeah.
And I've talked to them and trying to get information about
Because
the
of things
system.
that they've promised and not actually come out with.
I've talked to several developers that
Yeah.
have worked with Nintendo in the past, and while everyone loves Nintendo first-party stuff, a lot of the developers feel like, yeah, there's broken promises every generation, and they're tired of it, and they just don't want to support it. They just don't want to spend their money because
Yeah.
they lose money.
Yeah.
How many third parties are supporting the newest? Do you
Yeah,
know?
and they're
Switch.
They're probably going to get more money from that. I can see a lot of indie developers and stuff being fine with Nintendo, but even some of them, I'm hearing, yeah,
Little hesitant.
let's see
Yeah.
what's going to happen,
Yeah.
and that ultimately, to me, feels like that might be a big problem.
Yeah.
And that's partially because all of that problem that I have could be alleviated very quickly if Nintendo would come out and say, give us more information. And trying to contact Nintendo, the only information a lot of us are getting in the press is we're going to have another Nintendo Direct or something closer to launch. It launches in March.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a whole year.
So why wait so long to tell us unless they don't really have a plan?
Right.
Yeah.
And that makes me very nervous.
Speaking of, you were talking about the developers being salty against them for years because of stuff that they've promised but not actually come
It's
out
been
with.
all the way since the GameCube.
Have they not told the developers what the heck the specs are well in advance so that they have the stuff ready?
A lot of the developers I talk to right now, the ones that do have access to it, are under super strict NDAs.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but they should at least know what the specs are so that they can make.
Well, no,
the
there
game.
are some that do.
Yeah.
But of course, they're going to be the ones that Nintendo
Selected.
the
selected.
high end.
The ones that are, approved.
Like
There's a
Zelda.
lot of developers that have an idea,
Mhm.
but even a couple of developers I talked to, and these aren't little bitty developers.
Yeah,
Didn't even. We had a huge debate whether or not the thing had a touchscreen.
right.
I
Because
mean,
they didn't even know.
yeah, if you watch the video, there's no touch.
There's no touch.
Yeah,
Huh.
there's no. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they just might have overlooked that, and I would think they would because my wife's
Yeah, that'd be a way
cheap-
big misstep.
my
if they
wife's
just
cheap tablet
has a touchscreen.
has touchscreen.
Yeah,
So
fuck, a little like knockoff MP3 player
Has
from like
touchscreen.
yeah.
8 years ago had a
So
touchscreen.
I am hearing
Yeah.
because for a long time I was like, there's no specs on the touchscreen, like it doesn't exist. And then I found out from a couple sources that maybe it has multi-touch screen,
Okay.
which that would make more sense.
Yeah.
But still touch though.
Yeah, it's touch, but I mean,
Yeah, 'cause
dual
it is a
touch,
tablet,
like
yeah.
multi-touch screen, that would be even better than even
I
like
mean,
the Wii U or,
yeah,
the Wii U
exactly.
or the 3DS. So some of the other stuff that we have a release date, but it just seems like they're not ready. It's sort of like when
Yeah.
you're doing a console. Well, for it to be coming out in March, that means the thing has to be in development right now to actually be produced.
yeah.
It should already be in production.
Yeah,
right now,
it should be in
technically.
production.
production right now.
They're
yeah.
Right
still not
now
telling
with-
us what
with
the
it- with
specs
it-
are though.
So that just seems that would be ironed in already. That would
Right.
seem like that would be in the cake.
Yeah, that,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's
Here's the
already-
specs. Get ready. Pre-order
The
it.
cake
now.
is already baked.
Yeah.
you know.
So why?
What
not?
flavor
exactly.
is
It's not like they can change. It's not like they can change anything right away. If
German
somebody
chocolate,
decided-
baby.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's melon. Trust me on this.
it? Melon flavored
Yeah.
cake.
Ugh.
No, and trust me, in Japan there is such a thing. So
I figure as much. Yeah. Just like
Um,
the black bun hamburgers.
well, they had those here too, and they had really interesting poops afterwards.
It's like
So-
green or something.
So again, I'm gonna go back to the Pro controller. Like, how much is this thing gonna cost? It looks interesting, but I did notice something because we went and broke down a little bit, and maybe Ransom and I'll do something with that later. I broke down just looking at the trailer, taking some screenshots, and I think I saw a share button, like the
I'd be-
PlayStation.
Oh, really?
I'd be surprised if they don't have some.
Well,
feature
they,
like
they
that.
have a whole bunch of stuff on the 3DS, and somewhat on the Wii U with the Nintendo the Miiverse.
Yeah,
And-
exactly.
And so I would think they would integrate a Miiverse button and just automatically.
At the very least for that, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
because Xbox doesn't my Xbox have one? Xbox One,
Xbox One, you have to like
or is do
double
you have
tap.
to go through a menu?
You have to double tap the the little menu thing,
Yeah.
and it pops up.
Oh, okay.
But that came in after the launch. Like,
Dude, I was the PS4 share button always like because I'm so used to a select button. I'm so used, and I just cannot kill that habit.
oh, so you
Like,
just
you
keep
click
hitting
on it by
I just
accident.
keep clicking on it. And I'm like, no, that's not
when
what
it's
I wanted
actually
to
supposed
do.
to be the
But
right one that you
it's,
click
yeah.
on.
it's funny
for, yeah.
because I share stuff
That's
all the
funny.
time, either pictures or video and stuff.
Yeah.
Like E3 last year, this year, I kept hitting the share button because I was playing a game. I was like, "Oh, this would be awesome to record." And one of the games, I actually broke it.
Because you're like,
Yeah, it was an
that's
alpha. It was an
so
alpha thing, and the guy
funny.
he comes over and goes, "What did you do? What did you do?" And I said, "I hit the share button. I'm so sorry." And he goes,
Oh
That-
God.
"Yeah." So,
God, what have you done?
so
That's funny.
and it will use amiibos.
Evacuate the building.
The road just runs. Of course, it's going to use amiibos. They show it in the trailer that there's amiibos all around the stand in
Yeah.
one part. Like towards the end, they show a bunch of amiibos around the docking stand. So,
There
they
also
have
seemed to be a
amiibos,
new
I-
Mario game.
huh?
There also seemed to be a new Mario
They
game.
did seem to be a new Mario
There's
game.
like 6 seconds of it.
Yeah, but they also showed Skyrim, and Bethesda was like, "What?" Like they seemed very confused about Skyrim being in their game, being in it. So
They were confused. What? Like,
yeah, like either they weren't supposed to announce something, or this is just one of those PR things, like, "Oh, we don't know," kind of thing.
oh,
But that's not generally that way. So
Yeah.
it's kind of one of those.
it's really weird.
So unless it's
Maybe I bet they just didn't know that they were announcing it yet.
yeah,
Probably.
So Nintendo's like, "Oh, my bad."
Yeah.
Oopsie. Whoops. So, and some of the other stuff I have that I would like to know is battery life. Like, how long is this? I've heard reports of 3 hours when it's
Oh,
in the.
boy.
And that's the other thing we really didn't get into is the fact that you can take the tablet that's in a docking station, you can play it on your TV, take it out, put the controllers on the side, little thing,
Yeah.
and you can play it anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, because I'm hearing from a lot of stuff too, is that some of the development for 3DS and well, Wii U definitely, but a lot of the 3DS developers through Nintendo have moved on to other projects for this.
Oh, okay.
So what does that symbolize for the
The
future
3DS.
of the 3DS, which is like their most profitable thing
Right.
they make?
I don't think they would at least not yet.
Yeah, I couldn't see them, but at the same time, the fact that there's no backwards compatibility, which they announced, there's no physical way. The Switch has no physical way of doing any backwards
For the old
compatibilities.
games, for the physical games.
Yeah,
and
for
stuff.
physical.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I couldn't see who in their right mind would think that thing would have a disc drive of some sort.
No. I knew it wouldn't have a disc drive because it's a cartridge.
Or I guess even a.
They did announce
Yeah.
that it is a cartridge-based system.
Yeah, and I
Which
think they
essentially is a
showed
flash,
that in the
which essentially is they almost look just like the Vita games.
the Vita. Oh my gosh, the Vita games were so small. I was
Yeah.
always afraid I was gonna lose mine.
And these are small. It looked smaller than the 3DS games.
They're just like micro. What are they called?
SD cards.
SD cards.
That's
yeah.
essentially what they are. So I'm like,
Don't lose them.
I'm happy.
Right.
I'm happy with it. I'm sure there'll be some install, but that's the other thing it goes to is what is the size of the storage?
Right.
Like, are we gonna get one of those? Because
Oh, that's crazy.
Nintendo has been so far in the era of internal storage.
Very small.
Yeah, I mean, granted, they have been better than I would say PlayStation on letting me use external hard drives.
Right.
I've never had enough games to need one on the newer systems, but still, I mean, even the 3DS uses SD,
Right.
which is
Micro
thank God,
SD specifically.
it was not because I got one for like $20, and I forgot how big a size it was. Huge. So
And it does support up to 128. I think,
lot
for
of
the 3DS.
unanswered questions with the Switch, but
Yeah.
and I really hope that we get a lot more answers, especially before the holidays.
It
release
better.
it in. I don't think we will.
Yeah, probably not.
I just have this feeling that they're gonna be like, Switch? What Switch?
You're like, we never said anything about
Oh,
that.
that was the Switch. That was code for bait and switch.
Yeah, buy a Wii U. So
Buy another
we'll
Wii
definitely
U.
get back into this.
That's fine.
And I think we should go on to Microsoft. They had a press conference today, but recently for you guys that are listening, that was a creators.
Creatures.
It was a creators. I can't say the word. Creators. There we go. Their big thing they came out with was 3D for everyone, which made me think of Oprah automatically. I was like, you
And
get
you
3D.
get a
You got 3D. Everyone got 3D. Look under your chair.
It's in 3D.
Oh my god.
It was in 2D playing the whole time. So they okay, let me start off with, I am console wise, I have been a huge supporter of Sony. I mean, so much I was second row
Sony
at
has
the
been on point.
they have been
Yeah.
on point so much I was in the second row of the E3 last year at the press conference.
So dope.
So I mean, I'm a huge Sony supporter, but I will have to admit, it's always a good thing when a company that was on top kind of gets kicked in the teeth a little bit.
Yeah, because it keeps going.
Yeah, it kind of goes, okay, we need to change direction.
Right.
Microsoft has course corrected, and I'm very happy with where they're going. Windows 10, when it came out, they kind of got kicked in the teeth a little bit about it. And Windows, whatever it was before, because I lose count. I know it's not 9, but
Technically, it was
there
8 and
no
8.1.
8.1.
yeah. So
Because Microsoft really knows how to count.
yeah, it's like
It's the number right now is finally based off of the actual.
well, because there was
build number.
there was XP
Okay.
and all that kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
stuff. So
It's based on the build number.
So
of
it
the
is
actual
the
OS.
true,
It's the
like,
true
it's the
10
numerical
point
10
whatever.
version.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So I still primarily will play. I'm playing on my PS4 this generation because one, almost everything is developed for the PS4. So
Yeah,
you feel
and
it.
almost everything runs better on the PS4.
It does. It does. With exception, I think personally, I play all my Bethesda games on
the
Xbox.
Xbox.
And I think, and we'll talk about this in
Because
a
of
minute,
mod support, right?
mod support, and it just feels wrong.
You know what? I play my Bethesda games on computer.
Well, okay. Happy for
PC.
you.
PC Master
happy,
Race.
happy for the fact that you guys can afford that stuff.
I haven't upgraded mine in a long time. I'm
but-
going console.
I I like the direction that the company's going. Phil Spencer over at Xbox has been doing really great. I mean, the backwards compatibility stuff has been really fun to work through, and the fact that it just feels like they're listening.
They're finally getting it.
And so this kind of that goodwill. I mean, the fact that they've had the last 3 months, Xbox has been #1 for console sales, which is just. I would not have pegged that, but Ransom and I had this discussion a few moments ago before we started recording, and I do this was part of my thing too. Is I do think some of that is people already had a PS4.
Everyone's already gotten a PS4. They're like,
Yeah.
yeah, I already have a PS4, and I guess I'll buy an Xbox now.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. It's like, well, Gears is coming out. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like I feel that just now, I don't know, throughout the Xbox One's life, it just doesn't feel like there's a lot of games out on it that are really
On the Xbox
like,
One, there really isn't. There really, and I have to admit, like most of what I've played recently on my Xbox One,
Have been the backwards compatibility.
yeah, it has a lot of those games. Which
Yeah.
is, it's awesome to play South Park or play something like that, and it looks better than it did.
Yeah.
When it came out, playing Lost Odyssey, it came out a few weeks ago, and playing that game is one of my favorite RPGs. And playing the Mistwalker stuff, which is Lost Odyssey, Blue Dragon, and those kind of things being released. That stuff is fun, and they actually have a list, and people can vote, and they try to get those games out. Red Dead, that was amazing, and we'll get more into that in a minute. But at this conference, it feels more like that goodwill. Oh, what we're saying also is the mods actually played a part in people getting an Xbox as well.
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I
Yeah.
know people that actually sold their PlayStation, which I was kind of like,
What?
Yeah,
Okay, that's a little dumb.
that's a little
That's
hardcore.
a little, yeah.
But they sold their
That's
PlayStation to.
I mean,
get
those
an
people
Xbox.
don't deserve to have a PlayStation.
I agree. Because there's still a million games on PS4 that are amazing. I mean, you have
Yeah.
anything coming on Naughty Dog. You have any of that
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Exclusives on every system. I
Right.
mean, we're living in a time right now where you have the ability. The consoles are getting cheaper. You could possibly own all three of them.
Oh, yeah.
Consoles right now. So, all that aside, all the goodwill, they came out with this conference today, and they showed a bunch of stuff for Windows 10. That was the big thing was saying for Windows 10, and some of it spilled over into the console market, into the gaming market. Some of the stuff they showed today was the 3D for everyone, which I was saying earlier, and they're incorporating 3D rendering 3D stuff into Microsoft Office, which is really cool. I was
That is
watching
really
the
cool.
tech demos. Like, okay, let's go with PowerPoint. Probably the most boring. No, I'm sorry. That would be
Excel is the most boring.
I don't think that is.
Except, okay, so just
Well-
someone made.
And these are the
a-
itemized reports from the last year's.
freaking fantastic.
But someone made and programmed a Mario level on Excel.
I can see it actually. I can see them doing that. That's crazy though. And
It was hilarious. It was like one Mario level that they programmed
That's
on Excel.
but I hate Excel, but because I had to use it so much in other jobs. But they had PowerPoint, and they had where you can go into this collection of 3D images. You could kind of search, and the lady was doing stuff on fig trees
Yeah.
in this report. And so you could do like these animated intros and all this kind of
Nice.
stuff showing
That's
fig
super
trees,
cool.
and like you could they showed the fig tree, and then you move down the list on your PowerPoint presentation to the fruit, and it would zoom in the fruit on the tree, and so it felt
Oh, so it's kind of like, I don't know if you've heard of this program, but I think it's called Prezi or something.
yeah, it's
kind
very,
of like
it's very
that.
similar but free.
Yeah.
Well, free if you've got Office. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
What version of Office? 365?
whatever with 10 is, whatever the newest one is.
Probably 365. Yeah.
So, and I know they do the online as well. So I use a Mac. So
Isn't
I mean,
Office-
actually,
Office 365
subscription?
is the online version.
yeah,
Which one's the subscription-based one?
I think that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I have a Mac that does have Office, which actually works really well. But so some of this stuff is like, I'm kind of wanting a PC after some of the stuff I was seeing more so than I want my Mac now. And I love my Mac, but the other stuff they were showing, and this is stuff that I think Ransom and I were like,
Really
We're talking-
excited about.
they showed the ability to 3D scan objects with like your cell phone. So let's say they had a sandcastle. You could walk around the sandcastle, and then it changed those little pinpoint dots into the 3D image, and you can import that into your 3D Paint, which is Microsoft Paint but 3D.
Right. Yeah.
And you could take a picture of yourself and move it in front of the image, so you make a three-dimensional like where they are in the image.
Yeah.
And you could turn it around, and you can basically make like a snow globe type thing.
That's
and all
really
that
cool.
stuff. And then you can incorporate that. There's a couple things you can do with that photo. You can just make it a regular photo. You can incorporate it into some of their augmented reality with HoloLens, so people can walk around it.
Nice.
And you can actually make this thing 3D. VR. You can use that as well to like virtual room.
Yeah.
So you could actually make like trophies and stuff and put them on shelves and pictures and stuff in your virtual room.
Nice.
Which they basically today showed a virtual dashboard. Is essentially what they were showing. So you could have like a game playing of something, or you could have Twitch playing, or Beam, which they own Beam. You could have Beam playing like your favorite game kind of stuff and watching stuff, and then turn around and have all your office suite, and then have an entire wall, those shelves with like stuff from like pictures and stuff. It's the future, man. It's like you can feel that.
It's
but one of the cool things they showed with this whole technology is like one of the references they used, they had stuff from Minecraft. So you make something in Minecraft, you import it in, then you hit a button. If you have a 3D printer or access to a 3D printer, you can print that object in a 3D printer.
See, now that's dope.
And that's the plug and play stuff that I want with 3D printing. And well, just let's say in Destiny, okay? You have your favorite character. If they gave the option to move that character into a
3D printer accessible file.
Yeah. And just turn around and print your character. Because I would love that. Because like something like this,
like your favorite
or just
armor
like
and
any
everything
type
else.
of like in a Bethesda game where you actually make your character down to the facial structure. Like that's awesome.
So you can make your own little action figures of yourself,
which
that goes way in above. I mean, your avatar, which I'm sure they're gonna do.
Oh, no doubt.
Probably,
you could turn around and just print your avatar.
And that is the coolest shit.
The other thing they showed on top of all that, which was amazing, and I highly recommend go look at it because it feels like the future. One of the other big things they announced was stuff for like the hearing impaired, the visually impaired, all that kind of stuff. They added some more stuff. They added wheelchairs to avatars.
That's cool.
Which is about bloody time. It's just I remember that was actually one of the things when they asked, what should we do with avatars? I was one of the first things I said.
Add wheelchairs.
Well, I mean, come on now. I have a lot of friends, a lot of people that listen to the show. They're in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And I've had this discussion. Some of them don't want that, and some of them do, and I think that should be incorporated. So, but it was really cool to see that. It's almost a humility with their press conferences lately. It's kind of like, okay, this is where we're at. So keep on going with that. I'm really excited to see. But the other thing they did show is they actually said the word cheap, which in marketing you almost never use that term for something new. But it's cheap VR, which is $300 VR headsets.
Yeah,
which is awesome compared
and
to others.
They didn't, and some of the stuff they announced in the press releases sounded like actually pretty good stuff for like $300. So
yeah,
and it's very plug and play and ready to go and all that kind of stuff, which is how VR is going to have to be.
Possibly,
I would say just go check that out, and you know. See what you guys think of it. A couple other things I wanted to go over before we finish off this part of the podcast. The great director Uwe Bowl has retired.
Whatever shall we do?
I don't know. A ton of movies that I'm not going to watch that I still won't be able to watch.
Right? I was going to say, I don't even know who this guy is.
You're better off in the world. I mean, I've actually had... I've had the great privilege because he's actually kind of a nice guy. Well, at least when I met him, he was a pretty nice guy. But his movies were terrible. I bring him up mostly because he's done a lot of game related movies like Blood Rain and Postal, and anything that he could ruin, he could get a hold of. And from what I understand, a lot of his money originally, because he's from Germany, a lot of his money came from, I believe he's from Germany. A lot of his money came from like the government. It's like, you know how you can get money for doing certain things like that kind of stuff. And apparently in the last couple of years, that has dried up. And
Really?
And he used to make a lot of money from direct stuff and all, and DVD and Blu-ray kind of sales. And that's dried up, and he's been using his own money. So essentially, he's retiring because he ran out of money. So, which as someone who's a dreamer and loves to create things and all that stuff, it's kind of a bummer. But at the same time, the world is a much better place now. So I feel bad saying that, but yeah, those movies are pretty rough. I even watched, there was a movie he had, it was like a political movie. It was on Netflix or Amazon or something like that. I was sick, and I was like, let's see, because this is not one of his normal craptastic naming movies.
Was it Birdemic?
No, it was not Birdemic.
Okay, good.
That was a better movie. So, so that happened. So, I'm happy.
Happy retirement.
Happy retirement, man. You know what?
Uwe Bowl.
Yeah, you were
Go
saying
out
that
there.
he travels the world now or something.
No, that's a different guy.
Oh,
So-
got it. Okay, sorry.
No, he's not like Kane. He travels the world. the misadventures of Uwe Bowl. I would watch that show.
I would.
I let him direct.
I mean,
TV.
yeah, just don't let him direct it.
Yeah. So other than that, there's not much else for us to talk about in the world. I mean, there's a lot. I mean,
There's a lot.
you had a game that you wanted to bring up.
Oh yeah, it's called Accounting. It is by some of the creators that
Excel?
created Rick and Morty.
Oh,
Really?
Okay,
Yeah,
really.
and it's a VR game.
That's funny.
So, and they released it for free. On,
Oh, that's even better.
So, but it sucks because the game requires like 2.5 meters by 1.5 meters, and that is just barely too much for the room that I have my Vive set up.
We've got to
So
figure out
I'm
some
just
place
like,
to go.
I want to play this game. I highly recommend y'all look up the trailer. It is so funny.
That seems to be the biggest problem with Vive. It just requires so much space.
Yeah.
So, other than that, I think that's about it for the Talk Nerdy to Me. So, when we come back...
Wait, we were talking nerdy to me?
We weren't talking nerdy to me. I just didn't bring it up before.
Okay. Yeah, because we were like, what's in your system before, so...
Well, this wouldn't be in our system.
Yeah, no, definitely
So, why are we even talking about this? Bad producer. Bad.
Yeah, I should have remembered to
Yeah,
actually
so
rewind you.
I'm the talent. I'm supposed to say stuff. You're just supposed to tell me what to say. So we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about... apparently, I and Ransom are going to talk about, because Mike doesn't do anything for Halloween. We're going to talk about that, and we'll be right back. So we're back, and depending on when you listen to this, it's almost Halloween, or has been Halloween, or if you wait a year, it'll be Halloween again. So who knows?
It's this episode can really be applied
anywhere.
any time of the year. Christmas.
So every year, there's a bunch of stuff that I do to kind of, like, depending on the year. Some years it's a little bit harder than others.
Yeah.
I mean, this year we already have the election, and that's scary enough.
That's scary in itself.
So that's already on all of our minds. Oh my God! From what I understand, though, of course, some of the top sellers, the costumes this year are Trump and Hillary.
Oh yeah.
And
I already know that one of my friends is dressing up as Trump for.
I kind of want to. I'm kind of hoping somewhere online we find two Trumps fighting. I just want that. Just make that happen, internet. So
that would be pretty funny.
Yeah, it would. Maybe we should make it happen. So, is there anything you do to get, like, in the Halloween spirit? Is there, like, stuff? I mean, I know.
Yeah, I would watch like scary movies.
Like, what's your favorite? Like, what's my pre-Halloween or Halloween?
Pre-Halloween
or Halloween scary movie?
I guess for the longest time, I don't know if. I guess I did it last year, but every Halloween, especially my mom and my brothers, they watch Hocus Pocus. that movie.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, they watched.
I don't know why. I think I was just right outside of the age to where that was like.
Yeah, I like the movie. Like, it's an alright. It's like
Yeah.
it's your Disney like type meant for like.
It's my favorite Halloween movie with Bette
tween
Midler.
movies.
I can tell you that. But
Yeah.
other than that, that's the
So
only Halloween
I don't
movie
really
with Bette Midler.
participate in that tradition of watching that movie. Because
Well, I
can
know,
kinda
I know
take it or leave
a
it.
lot of people that love that movie, and it's just I don't know if it's just you had to be a certain age when that movie came out, or like I'm not ancient, but I think it just came right out of my
Yeah, and like I'm by far not saying it's a bad movie.
No.
It's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I every year we always argue whether to watch Nightmare Before Christmas then
That's
or
another.
for Christmas.
That's
Because
another one that
it-
my
it's
family
like,
watches.
It feels like you should watch it near Christmas, but at the same time, it feels like you should watch it near Halloween. So there's always an argument about that. We watch Sleepy Hollow every year for some
Sleepy
reason.
Hollow, yeah.
Sweeney Todd, like apparently a lot of Tim Burton things.
Just
We watch Halloween.
Edward Scissorhands.
We watch the original Halloween. Well, that's a Christmas.
Okay.
Edward Scissorhands is a
Christmas
movie.
movie. My bad.
We see what else we watch. Oh, one I've added to our list this year is Over the Garden Wall.
I haven't seen that one.
It's done by the Adventure Time people, and Elijah
awesome.
Wood does the voice for one of the main characters. It was
So does Penn Ward animate it, or
I think so.
I'll have to look.
You have to definitely take a look at it. It's not like super scary, but as it is weird. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of speculation about the story that it actually is in tandem with Dante's Inferno, and it's really weird, but
I'll have to check that
it's
out.
definitely
That sounds dope.
it's weird enough that it feels like it should be in Halloween. And it was on Cartoon Network, but you can find it. I think the only place you can find it in the States streaming is Hulu. Hulu, you can find it,
Okay, I'll definitely need to. I have
or other means.
yeah,
But,
illegal.
but it's definitely something I would check out. And then, of course, we watch Halloween every year. And
That's awesome. I mean, you have to. It's literally called Halloween.
Dell and Tucker is
Oh
definitely
my
one we
god,
watch.
I love that movie. So I
Yeah.
might make that a tradition now because that movie, I went into that movie being like, oh, it has the dude from Firefly in it. It's gonna be all right. I
Yeah,
guess. And it just blew me away. I love that movie so much.
And then we do the zombie triple feature every year of because it's hard to do really scary stuff with my family. It's just
Are they not into the?
my youngest and my oldest are.
Okay.
My wife not so much,
Mm-hmm.
and so unless we watch really bad like slasher films from like
That's
the
not
80s.
scary.
Yeah, because even Mike used to come over all the time, and we'd have a Good Taco Bad movie night, and we would watch these terrible 80s movies, and just make fun of them, just completely.
Maybe not even
missed it.
80s for that.
Well,
matter.
no, it got into 90s.
Yeah.
But I mean, and we might end up doing one of those before Halloween as
Oh,
well.
one thing that
That would be
me
fun.
and my brothers and friends would do is, especially when Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2 were really popular. Like, we would, they've been out for a while, so like none of us would really play that much. But like on Halloween, we would make sure to like get a couple of games of Left 4 Dead going.
There's a few games that I play. I play Costume Quest 1 and 2.
Oh, I forgot about
I
that.
play those every year.
That's on PlayStation, right?
The second one's on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and PC,
Cool.
and the first one I think is only on PS3, which that's usually what I do. I played on PS3, and like last year I played it on PS3, and then played the second one on PS4. And I think I even have it free on Xbox now or something like that. They had it, so I kind of want to play a Resident Evil game this year. Like I kind of want to play one of the.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know
I
Mike
should
has like
probably
all.
do that.
He has all the remakes on PS4,
All the current remakes.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
So
Now,
That's dope.
apparently, the version Resident Evil 2 that I have is actually Revolution, or something. To that
Revelation.
effect, Revelation.
you're right,
which is
Revelation
not
2.
the original 2.
No, they haven't.
No.
But they're the guys who did
I'm
Resident
hoping
Evil.
that they have 2 coming
Oh,
out. sometime.
okay.
The guys who did Resident Evil 1, the remake of Resident
Yeah.
Evil 1 or the whatever it is, they are working on Resident Evil 2, which is my favorite Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Which means
So-
this 3 should come out at some point also.
I don't know.
But
Well, what they've done so far is they've gone backwards. 0 and 1 came out
Yeah.
remastered. Obviously, 2 Revolution or whatever the hell it's called.
Revelations.
Yeah, thank you. And then after those, it went 6, 5, 4.
Yeah. Which,
So if they continue that pattern,
honestly-
it's going to be 3 and 2 next,
no, 2 will be first.
or 2 and then 3.
It'll be 2 because 3.
because they've been going
There's
backwards.
also
for
Code
the other ones.
Veronica, which I would kind of love to be remade.
Fun fact about Revelations. So I have Resident Evil Revelations, the first one for my 3DS.
Yeah, I have that one as well.
Except I got a copy where one of my friends actually bought this copy for me, and it was like on clearance at like Target.
Yeah.
But it was one of the misprint copies, so
Oh.
it has Revelatons.
That's
not
that's
Revelations.
awesome.
That's awesome.
So I
Do not unbox that thing.
Oh no, it's too late. I have that. But
Well, the box all like matters anyway. So.
but it's so funny. I'll never get rid of that.
There's a lot of great things that we all kind of do for Halloween, and like I love
me.
except for Mike because
But if y'all want to watch,
I actually walked away and got stuff while they were talking.
nobody cares.
But if you want to watch a scary movie, I would recommend Antichrist. That one is a
well, yeah,
doozy.
there's a lot of stuff, and I
never
kind
realized
of
there was one like that.
I hope everyone out there has a really safe and responsible Halloween and doesn't do anything stupid.
Don't do anything too crazy.
Yeah, you can be crazy, but just not too crazy. 'cause
Don't do anything we wouldn't.
if you're listening to this, I need as many listeners as I can have, so don't kill yourself.
Don't walk around in Halloween.
It's a completely
don't walk
selfish
around
reason that I
in
don't
clown
do.
costumes
Oh no, especially in Texas. So
right now because that's a thing.
they're getting
So,
shot.
yeah.
But
I don't know. I feel like if you shoot someone in a clown costume on Halloween, that's kind of your bad.
Yeah,
like,
that
you
is your
shouldn't
bad.
be shooting people in
Unless
costumes
they're coming
on
after
Halloween.
you like freaking Purge.
Exactly.
well, that's
exactly.
totally different there,
Yeah.
man, because that's just not real. But
That's just fiction.
It might become real.
well,
It would no.
so-
Purge will never become real. I'll tell
so
you that.
okay, there's a lot of things that might become real, but
I'm talking about people reenacting stuff
oh
and
yeah.
having
Oh,
problems.
people already like do that.
So
Yeah.
let's move into one more thing, and I'm going to throw up not throw up, but I'm going to throw out a huge spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the new Walking Dead,
Turn off the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Press the
turn
pause.
this off, or pause it, fast forward it, whatever you need to do. Yes.
cover your ears. Let's do about 2 minutes, 3
minutes
minutes.
of-
Let's
That's
do
fine.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then when we come back, you can say our goodbyes, and we'll hug it out.
So
and
this
all
is
that
your
kind of
last
stuff.
warning.
So
We'll improvise on little hold music
So
while
hold on.
you're.
So hold on. 1, 2. No. Meanie, miny, mo. Okay, ready and go. Okay, so episode 1, season 7, episode 1,
Yes.
aired.
Yeah.
This week. But again, you might be listening to this anytime, so it might have
This
been
last
last year.
Sunday, technically, not this
But
week.
anyway, I watched it with my family, and we're all watching. By the way, I had this revelation. Speaking of revelations,
You mean Revelaton?
Revelatons. That show's been on for 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means my youngest was
Really young.
was 9 years old,
Yeah.
and she's
That-
been watching it since day one.
Yeah.
That's really weird.
So I don't know if I'm a bad parent for that now that I think about it, but she's turned out pretty good. Like
Yeah,
she's gonna be a
she's
surgeon.
fine, yeah.
That's what she's rooting for. So I don't think it's too.
It's
bad.
kind of up her alley.
See,
in
there's
that
no
aspect.
there's no correlation between someone watching a gory movie and then
No,
becoming like
exactly.
a serial killer.
that goes into kind of what I want to talk about. So because I'm gonna
Interesting
make
segue.
I'm gonna make a lot of. I'm gonna say a lot of things, and I knowing that my 9-year-old had watched the show. So I mean, So the episode came out,
And hoping that everybody else watched
and
it so far.
The episode came out, and you know, we were waiting who's Negan gonna kill,
Yeah.
and I pretty much figured it out already. Like, I know it was almost down. The order was different, but it was exactly who I thought was gonna die.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning who it was going to be.
Because it made sense. And
Yeah.
if you don't know, it was Abraham and Glenn. I'm kind of being quiet a little bit because
Hey, everyone
We're-
in Clockwork.
we're in a
we're
public
working,
area.
we're recording at Clockworks like we always do. So
Yeah.
that's and I'm just, a lot of people had a problem with Abraham, but when I get to Glenn, people had like a shitstorm. Like, it was
Oh my
like-
god, so many people got.
and some of it was normal, like,
Bitch fit.
oh my god, my favorite character died. I'm upset.
Yeah, but a lot of it's just bitch
Bitch
fit.
fit. There's a
Like-
lot of that, and I like, but a lot of it too. A lot of the really big stuff I saw, even a pretty big reviewer for a pretty big site said that the gore was too much. But here's my problem.
What?
No.
It's The Walking Dead.
Here's my problem.
No.
Here's my problem with that. And everybody has
A
their-
breaking point.
A breaking point, their limit, and everyone's
Yeah.
different. Because what essentially it is when you see an image on screen, it's what you gutturally feel, like instantly feel. Like, there are certain things that I can't stand to watch. Like, if anything has rape, I
Yeah.
will turn off the TV. I can't stand it.
Mhm.
I know it's fake. I know it doesn't exist. It's not really happening. But it's something I cannot watch.
Right.
Yeah.
And so,
Because it's something that you think about.
and I had a really
far
big
as family.
discussion on my Facebook. It ended up being a really long, big discussion.
Yeah.
About that with a bunch of people, and it took basically me understanding that was my breaking point. So other people might have a different one, and that's fine. But where I start having a problem with is people, like, I saw an article where it was this whole group of people where they were like the Stop Watching Dead Club or something like that. So basically,
seriously?
just like,
you know what? Just
if
stop
you don't
watching
like
it.
then don't watch it. But
Yeah,
don't like tell
exactly.
someone how to make their art or whatever.
Yeah,
It's
and
just so stupid.
and I understand, but you see, when I watch, and I understand that I'm different when I watch, like, the execution scene, because I've either worked in the industry or worked around stuff, or since I was a kid, I was reading Fangoria, like, stay up at night, learning how to make blood packs and working on special effects, makeup, and all that stuff when I was a kid. So to me, I see the strings. Like, I'm watching it and I see how everything works.
Yeah,
and
you're
that
like,
fascinates-
oh yeah.
That fascinates me. Like, oh, that's how he did that with that. That was a piece, or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that stuff fascinates me. And I understand not everybody's that way, but I don't see it as real. Like, in no shape, form, or fashion. But at the same time, like I said, if there was a rape scene, shutting it off.
Right.
Yeah.
But there was so much backlash about it being too graphic, and this is a show about zombies, and really, honestly, the worst thing in the show isn't the zombies; it's the humans.
It's the humans, and that's what the
That's
and
the point.
And
yeah.
they don't seem to remember, like, season 1, was it episode 1? The freaking she shot the zombie girl.
yeah.
The horse getting eaten.
Right.
Or one of my favorite things was the everyone eats Chris
Yeah.
rotating.
Exactly. the cannibals section.
No. Where the trough in Terminus was pretty rough. That's the only scene they gave me. I don't know how far you caught up, Ransom, so I'm very sorry. But there's a scene where they have a whole bunch of cast members.
I watched up to season 2, and then
Okay.
season 2 lost me because it
A
was
lot of people
shit.
lost. So there's a whole bunch of people at a trough, and they hit their head and slit their throat.
Yeah.
Like cattle. They're going down the line because they're using them as meat.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, that's the only scene in the entire show that like, because when I was a kid, I actually worked. One of my best friends, his dad owned a slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
So we walked in on that one time.
Oh. So
And
that,
so
that,
there
that
was-
resonated with you.
that hit me because I had a point that I could remember.
Yeah.
But a reference point. But other than that, most of the show it's strings. It's purely strings for me. But I mean, there's so much violence in the show, and this is the one breaking point: is you see Glenn's eyeball basically pop out.
Yeah.
That's your breaking point.
Yeah. It was like, I don't.
Yeah, and his skull caved in.
Well,
a
he
little bit.
also goes, "I'll find you," and it wasn't funny. It was very touching at the time.
Yeah.
But afterwards, it has become. There's a lot of jokes on it. So
the choral jokes. Yeah.
my question to everybody out there: what's your breaking point? You know, what movie or show or thing has made for you, Ransom? Has there been a breaking point?
I don't know. I'm never really like offended or like, oh,
I
that's
never
just
get
too
scared.
gross.
I never get scared.
Yeah,
in movies.
I've never. Probably my breaking point is when movies are just bad and like gory. no, when they're like Human Centipede, like that
that's
type of like
gross.
It's just gross and stupid.
Yeah.
Like, but that's not really a breaking point. I just think it's shitty. It's just shitty.
Literally.
Literally a
Yeah.
shitty movie.
Well, there's,
And then I guess like rape makes me uncomfortable in movies.
I'm trying to remember.
it always makes me uncomfortable in general too. But
I'm trying to
movies
remember if I ever had a breaking
Yeah.
point. I don't know if I have yet.
breaking point.
Yeah.
There's got to be something. I mean, you can think about it.
If you want to find out your
I've
breaking
never
point,
not finished
watch
a movie.
Human Centipede 3.
Yeah.
You'll find it real quick.
We've watched a lot of really bad movies though, you and me, and like
Sadly enough, I've actually seen one of the Centipede movies, or at least part of
The
it.
Human Centipede 3 is the weird, like,
It
it's
doesn't even make
so,
sense.
It's so. Have you seen Human
I
I think
Yeah.
I've
Centipede?
probably seen.
It's
the first
so
one. Then.
weird.
I actually got invited to
At least
a
part of
premiere
it.
of it. I didn't go. But it's.
That's funny.
I don't know. I'm really curious if this is something that I really want to know. Is like, what's people's breaking points, and also, what did you feel about how the episode went? So, but we are done talking about that kind of stuff, and we're done with the show. So,
Sad face.
sad face.
Tear.
But we'll be back. We're gonna be. If you notice, we've kind of skipped our WTF for the last couple episodes.
True. We
And
There's
We're
just
saving
nothing
them up.
weird. There's just nothing
No,
fuckworthy
we're-
going on in the world right now.
We're saving our-
Have you heard of a place called Florida?
Yeah, we're basically saving our load.
We're saving our load, guys.
For no, not guns. I don't think you
No
quite got
finger
that
guns.
there. Well, but we're next episode is episode 69. So we definitely will not be recording it where we're at right now. Is it definitely has to be in a room.
Yeah.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
gonna be
Wait.
laughing our butts off.
Well, no, we're gonna be saying things like
Yeah,
Very
we're saying
inappropriate.
things that are
it will be an
inappropriate for-
entire
yeah.
episode
Of just us saying fuck
pretty much
over and over again.
of WTF.
What was
By
that
the
again?
way, by the way, okay, you know how words all of a sudden, and this is an American thing because everywhere's got their own censorship things.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, and I know what it's from. It has to be from this. The ability to say "pussy" on TV has happened.
Really?
Yes,
The what?
pussy.
Pussy.
You can say pussy on TV now?
Well, on like
Late night
South
TV?
Park and that kind of stuff.
Oh,
And it has to
Wow.
be from it. And I'm not going to get too much political, but it has to be
because
Because
of
of
Donald Trump.
the Trump thing because it was by the way, that was the greatest gift for me ever when that happened because I had to see people on CNN and stuff say the
Say
word
the
pussy.
wood pussy.
Yeah, I
That
actually
is-
I actually recorded like a bunch of them on my phone. One day I will make a compilation because it was
Someone needs to cut everyone from like any news saying pussy and just like all splice it together,
Yeah.
which is pussy.
I'm sure it probably exists already,
it has to
which
because
is gonna be
it
hilarious.
was amazing to just hear like the guy, what's his name from CNN, the white hair guy. He's just like
I forgot his name.
he's
With the
like
blue eyes.
so Donald Trump said like it was just amazing. So thank you for this election just for that. So
Oh, that's so sad.
and that
though.
is a different thing here too because on Walking Dead we're not talking spoilers anymore. on Walking Dead
They say bad words in
they,
Walking Dead.
well they do, but they're limited though. To certain,
Yeah.
they can only
They
say
are-
so
they
many,
are
and they can only
technically
say so many
limited
per
still, yeah.
episode.
Okay.
So they have to kind of like peg it to where they want
Yeah.
to. But apparently, on the Amazon version of last season, when Negan comes out in the comic, every other word is F this or F in
Oh,
this.
so did you know Negan is the father in Supernatural?
Yeah, he's also
Okay.
Thomas Wayne in the last Batman movie,
Okay.
and the
And he's also from that. There's the action
Watchmen.
movie Losers.
Yeah, he's also in Watchmen. He was the comedian.
Oh, you know who else is in Losers?
Yeah, that's
Who?
true.
What's his name? Captain America. He was the
America.
nerdy dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it like blew my mind when I figured that out.
Chris-
Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Evans?
Yeah, he was also the Human Torch. So
That's right. Man,
yeah.
I keep forgetting
Yeah.
about that. Yeah.
So, and they're all related to Kevin.
The one
Bacon.
somewhat decent movie that they made before they screwed it up again.
What are you talking
What
about?
that movie was not good. No Fantastic Four movie has
It
ever
was
been good.
okay, but not great.
No, the last one was the best one of all. So,
I don't-
oh, we're talking movies. No,
Yeah,
no.
exactly.
So we're gonna go ahead and end the show because this is gonna devolve into something. So, guys, thank you for listening. We were recorded at Clockwork in College Station. If you're into anything to do with tabletop games, cards, all that kind of stuff, make sure you check it out. I know they have an online store, but I'm entirely sure it's how it works. But I know they have one. So. Also, if you like nerd news, reviews, anything awesome, our show, of course, is on there. Go to cinelinx.com. That's CINELINX. I had somebody message me asking me. Speaking of messages, the last episode, we were talking about my kitty cat that died in the episode, and apparently when Mike said, "What about me?" because we're going around the table, I said, "I don't care," but it sounded like I didn't care about the cat because Katie had asked her question. So it sounded like she asked, "What about the cat?" And I don't care, is what it sounds like. So I did care.
I did care about the cat.
We're going to blame the producer again on this one. So
It's always the producer.
it's always the producer. You can find our producer
At Silverhawks, no vowels.
spell it.
SLVRHWKS.
I just wanted him to spell it. It's made me happy. And then you can find Ransom,
At Not a Hot Dog Man.
not a hot dog man. And you can find me at Fathergamer on Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, everything else. And then, speaking of SoundCloud, you can find our show on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, Tunein Radio, Google Play Radio. I just hate the long.
Yeah. And Libsyn.
Google Play Music and Libsyn, and again, cinelinx.com. Guys, thank you for listening, and please come back for episode 69. It should be horrible.
Very good.
It's going to be depravity.
Just gonna be-
depravity.
I have a feeling we're getting a lot of hits on that one.
Oh, I'm sure we will, and it won't be good. So, thank you guys for listening, and as always, achieve greatness.